series on this game called Fishing Planet. It's a really relaxing game. It's kind of like a simulator for fishing. I've been playing for about 50 hours now, and got myself I bought a kayak. You can see a fish swimming right under me there. I bought a kayak with the money I earned from just playing the game. The game's free. I'm level 19. But you can see some other players over there fishing on a dock. And this guy's over by the weeds there. So there's a lot to this game. And I'm not too familiar with fishing in real life, but I'm slowly learning some things. But I found my favorite type of fishing is using a lure, and we're gonna be targeting bass. Big bass. So it's 9:22 a.m. and we're just gonna see if we can catch anything in the weeds over here. I guess the bass like to ambush little fish that are swimming right by the weeds, and they'll hide in the weeds there and strike. But pulled something out at the last second there. Guadalupe bass. We're fishing in Texas. Pretty cool looking fish. I don't catch many of these. There's some different species of bass on this map. You can do different types of presenting, I guess it's called. I seem to have a lot of luck with this twitching style. And I got a pike. Let's see. Big one right under me there. The kayak's nice because you can get to areas where you normally wouldn't be able to fish on shore. I seem to be having quite a bit of luck today, right in this area under this bridge here. But the whole idea of lure fishing is you want your tackle to be looking like a little fish prey. So there's like different ways to make it look enticing and real. Like, my favorite is twitching here. All you gotta do is just reel in slow and just twitch your rod a little bit. There's another one. This is not a very big fish, but like the bigger ones will really put up a fight. And it's all about trying to tire them out. You want to tire the fish out when they're real big and strong. And you gotta make sure to not snap your line. If it's a real big fish, you gotta like lower your drag. A yellow bass. Whoa. That is really cool. I like the repetition there with the stripes. Very cool. I just keep everything, and you can see up in the left-hand corner it says Fish Cabin Small, or S. That's my keep net where I put all my fish that I catch. It's like a little cage. I got a pretty big one now. I upgraded so I can carry 55 pounds of fish before I have to return to shore and cash them in. So I'm twitching right now, and like there's a lot to this game. Like I said, like got another one at the last second there. I didn't think they would be biting this much right now. Honestly, they don't usually, they're not biting this good. I'll do a different little tactic here. It's called stop and go. It's pretty much just that. You wanna reel in, stop, and then reel in, but it looks like it's gonna be too shallow here to do that. Well, now that it's closer, we're able to keep it off the bottom a little better. If you haven't already seen it, up at the top right corner of the screen, you can see a little indicator of what our lure is doing. We want to keep it off the bottom, obviously. I'll go back to twitching. I try to usually keep it right in the middle. Give me some leeway. But the physics in this game are pretty good. Try some stop and go, but it's already... Let's try some stop and go in the deeper water out here. think something nibbled there. Trying to get the timing on it. Good. Looks like we're keeping it at 3 bars there. I guess how the game engine works is you just wanna do one presentation method per cast. Like, you don't want to do this and like you don't want to change to a different presentation method a whole bunch. I guess you just want to do stop and go the whole time, or twitching the whole time. There's some other different presentation methods, but I think these two work the best, honestly. And they're pretty easy to maintain 3 bars with. You can see it's pulling my kayak a little bit. This might be a bigger one. That's a decent sized spotted bass there. I think the max weight you can get is like around 1.9 pounds. Well, they're just biting so good right here, I might just keep. You can go straight, slow, but I don't think the fish, I don't think it really catches the fish's attention as good as like twitching and stuff. That's a good cast right there. 109 feet. My goal is to get around $10,000, and then I'll be able to buy I devised a plan for a nice casting rod setup like this one, but it's gonna give me the maximum amount of cast distance, so I have the most time, presentation time, pulling in my lure, so I have more time, chance to catch something. It'd be cool to have the ability to cast all the way across the lake. I think it's gonna be like somewhere around 190 feet max that I'll be able to cast on this map. You can't just bring like a straight up deep sea ocean tuna like fishing setup with a really heavy rod. You can't bring that here to this lake because you'll get penalized. I guess the game thinks it's too easy to pull in a fish with a heavy rod like that. They would rather, they want you to make it more challenging and use a setup that the bass can put up a struggle with, you know. I'm thinking, you know, I bought this rod like a year ago when I last played the game, and I didn't understand quite as much about like the ideal rods for doing this, and so I think it might be a little too heavy of a rod maybe, and that's I think why you can see my line is kind of wearing out pretty quick. Wow, pretty much caught this fish right when it hit the water. See my kayak's moving. It's pulling me. This is exactly what I'm after, the spotted bass. They're the biggest fish on this lake. Maybe I'll get a 1.9 pound in this video. We're up to 13 pounds of fish in our fish keep. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and run this line until it breaks, honestly. Try to get my money's worth out of it. Because you gotta pay for all this stuff and maintain all this stuff. Sometimes I like to get my rod down a little bit low when my lure is almost to me, so I can really try to keep that lure down in the water as much as I can. It's 10:25 a.m., so I might want to move to another spot, I don't know. There's a whole science behind it, you know, and I kind of just feel like playing this game blind and not really getting into the nitty-gritty of the whole mechanics to try to optimize fish per hour. Like, you see, I'm doing this weird thing where I'm twitching by reeling and moving the rod up and down. Like, I don't know if that really helps at all, but I don't really care to go search online to see. I just find it useful when the lure gets closer to me and I'm trying to keep it off, trying to keep it in the middle of the indicator there. Sometimes I'll pull some line in by moving my rod this way. Now it's getting closer to the top, so I'll move my rod back. Oh, almost caught a fish at the end there. My ultimate goal at first was to was pretty expensive. Took me a while to grind out the money. I bought this kayak, and my plan was to do something really funny with it. Once I unlocked the ocean map, I wanted to do something really funny and go to the ocean, and fish for huge bluefin tuna on a kayak in the middle of the ocean and just have them pull me around like a sleigh. I thought that would be funny. An onlooker, another player just sees me out there fighting a huge tuna and it's pulling me around. These little fish, they don't weigh much, like 2 pounds max on the bass here, so it's not really pulling me that much, that noticeably. But like a crazy big, I don't know how much they get up to, probably more, over 200 pounds for sure. Those tuna, man, they would take me for a ride, but come to find out, unfortunately, you can't take a kayak out on the ocean. You can only take, like the trawling vessels and the stuff, so that's a record Guadalupe bass. So I'm thinking, okay, well, if I can't do that funny idea on the ocean, I thought I'd research to find the best location that I can use a kayak at that'll have the most powerful fish to pull me. And so I found out the best place is gonna require like level, I think 65, and it'll be in Africa on the Congo River. They have these huge, like 200-pound like mammoth tigerfish, giant tigerfish, and then they also have like Nile perch. So I think that'll be my goal, but I honestly just really like fishing here. This is the starter map where all the new players start at, so it's probably cool for them to see a player fishing on a kayak. When I first started a year ago, you actually couldn't use kayaks on this map. You had to go to Emerald Lake. Wow, another one. He might be a pretty decent sized spotted bass, is what I'm thinking. They tire out pretty quick on this map, this species of fish. 1.5, that's pretty good. yellow bass. It turns out the game engine physics cap the speed of your kayak at 2 miles an hour when a fish is pulling you. Unfortunately, I was hoping, have the thing pulling you like crazy, like hilarious levels of pull to them, but 2 miles an hour it really is pretty fast. And apparently, those things are so strong, the fish there, that they'll pull you like all the way across the map. They don't tire out easily. But I'm thinking you'll get a lot of points if you really have the thing put up a struggle, put up a fight. It's a pike. I seen something really funny when I first started the game. Let's see if I have it on me. Yeah. So this is the Telefloat pole. I don't use this very much, but it's a float, so it's got a bobber on it, and you use live bait. Well, I seen a player, he caught a little fish. We'll see if we can catch something, but I got small minnows on here with a barbless hook, so we might be after bass. I don't remember. Small minnows are probably better for walleye or something, which aren't on this lake. But he caught this little bluegill. And yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it unless I catch a fish, but well, let's see. Maybe I can. Yeah, there we go. See how I'm it's probably kind of hard to see, but well, he was on a dock and he caught a little bluegill, and what he did was he was going like this and slapping the fish on the water really hard. I can't do it that hard in a kayak, and he probably had his sensitivity up real high, and he was just slapping the thing on the water. And it reminded me of a time in real life where my nephew was doing that. He caught a little tiny fish, and he was doing that, and I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And he said, well, in his defense, he said, well, the fish, they're gonna die anyway. And I'm like, no, oh my god. That would never work in court. You can't just you go and let's say a mass murderer kills a bunch of people and he's in court. His defense isn't gonna work. Just saying, well, they're gonna die eventually anyways. My line's at 30% this, I don't know. Yeah, it's a pretty relaxing game. Well, let's go ahead and I'll actually go away from the sun so it's not as bright. That's 2 miles an hour. So I mean that's pretty fast for a fish to be pulling you. There's a muskrat or a beaver. Let's see how fast we can go. 9 miles an hour. Maybe we can find like a little channel up here where there might be some big bass. I like bass, fishing for the big bass, because it's just funny. My nephew, the same guy I was talking about, he would always be after the big bass and, the big lures, and, he's always saying, oh, I almost caught a big trophy bass, but it got away, and he was just fibbing. But it puts a smile on your face, so that's what I kind of pretend like I'm doing. Is probably can't go over here. There's pokeballs in the water. I don't do this very much, but I did buy like a little fish stand, fishing rod stand. So like if I wanted to, 3, 9, yeah. We can put that there. Get out our float rod. Like I learned about all this stuff from this game. I don't know if you can cast this very far. It's just a float rod, but put the rod down on the stand. We'll keep an eye on that and see if we'll just try to keep an eye on it, so I'll actually fish, like lure fish like this, so I can see it. But like you can put little bells on your float rods and it'll make a little ding if something's on there, which I think is nice, because I'm always afraid I'm gonna miss something and it's gonna get away. Like I think if it's hooked on the float rod there on the stand for too long, I'm assuming it'll eventually get off the line. But honestly, I doubt this is deep enough water, and I might try putting like a different. I'll set this on here for now. See if I can put a different, like kind of bait on here, something we'll actually catch stuff with. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Red worms. That'll be good for like sunfish, I guess. There we go. It's possible they'll bite this close to shore. This is I made sure to get the longest freaking rod I could find. It's called a telefloat. It's like 20 feet long. Man, I've seen people with like a crazy setup where they have like a rod stand that has, you can put like 4 rods on. Guy I saw on Emerald Lake was like catching walleye like crazy with that setup. They really improved this starter map a lot from the last time I was here a year ago. They I noticed added a lot of nice new sounds, like I can hear flies buzzing around. And I'll have to go do it here in a second, but like you can, they added something's on the telefloat. We'll just go ahead and swap these around. Oh my god, we got a 1.7 pound spotted bass on the telefloat. Holy crap. I didn't think I'd be catching bass with... Oh. That was pretty shallow water there. But like I was saying, they added a really cool sound effect. I'll go show you. It's like when you're in your kayak under that bridge, it sounds just like you're under a bridge, like the echo of the waves lapping against the brick walls under the bridge. I can't believe how many fish I'm catching, man. Yeah, I remember one day my dad, in real life, who likes fishing, he lives on a lake and he has a fishing boat. He had 2 rods going, you know, one like this setup with a float rod that he'd just put on the side of the boat, and then he'd had a fly fishing rod. This is his main rod. There's another 1.7. He was getting crazy bites that one day. I mean, as soon as his fly hit the water, he was pulling out fish immediately. He got like 200 bluegill that day. You know, and his float rod was getting hits like crazy. He couldn't even manage both rods. They were biting so quick. He has a pretty cool setup. He's got like a fish finder on his motorboat and like a little trolling electric motor, backup motor that you can use when you want to be quiet and you don't want to scare the fish. He's got a big old fish keep built into the boat, like under one of the seats. It's a big reservoir. You can fill it up with lake water, and you catch fish and you just throw them in there, and they stay alive in there, nice and fresh. There's another one. Something lightweight. Oh, it's actually pretty decent weight on that. Well, there's a lot of different fish in this lake, but I'm mainly targeting bass, but I can't remember where you can go to see all the different species, but they probably added more since I've started playing, but like things I can remember were like big watermouth or like a buffalo. Those things look weird. They're pretty rare. Red ear sunfish, bluegill. It's funny though, you can even catch like old fishing line in the weeds, and you can catch like just junk, and you actually get points for it because you're clearing out the waterway of trash. If I need to, I can cut my line. I don't know when I would need to do that. Young largemouth bass. You can take like photos, but I don't really do that. That's a pretty small fish there. Dolly. Well, we have 28 pounds of fish. I'm gonna go and show you that that cool water sound effect. Try to remember the controls here. Such a relaxing game. There's like a campfire over there. Some ducks. Cattails, that's what those are called. Those weeds there, I think. I'm from Michigan and this is in Texas here, but we have them here. But we don't have. I guess they're endangered or something. There's a player over there. because, it's hard to access. You need a kayak really to fish on, like, under here. Carp fishing. There might be carp here too. Or like perch. There's all kinds of stuff. Where I'm from in Michigan, the most common fish is bluegill. They're also called, I think, some kind of sunfish. I guess we would want to cut the line if we got our line like hooked on a tree or something. God forbid we catch a muskrat or a turtle or something. I've tried fishing, multiple times in real life over the years, and it just seems like every single time the fish will swallow the hook, so it gets stuck real deep in its stomach, and it's a pain to get out. You pretty much have to kill the fish to get it out. The tactic my dad taught me was to cram a bobber down its throat and spin it around like crazy and rip the hook out of its stomach like that. And it just made the most disgusting sound. And of course the fish would usually die from it. He argued that the fish don't have nerve endings and they can't feel pain. But, like, I just feel bad. And, like, they have to be scared because a lot of times they'll pee. First time I ever went fishing with my dad, he hooked me right in the side of my face. Then I think he did it again the next time in my finger. Like right in my thumb. I don't want to fish with you anymore. And then I felt bad one time because he caught he had a huge monster bass on the line. And it was at night, and he said, hurry, get the fishing net. Hurry. And it was at night, so I couldn't see, and I didn't remember where we put it. And I couldn't find it. And that upset my dad. The big bass got away. And in the morning we found out it was like leaning up against a tree right nearby. I mean, that thing was a huge, absolute monster. We could see it shining the light on it through the water. It's noon in the game, so I read something on the loading screen. Sometimes they'll have tips, and one of them I saw today was something about when it's noon, if you do like deep I forget what it's called, but like this fish might be pretty big here. You go deep, like right under your kayak. You don't need to like cast real far, but you just drop your rig down real deep, and then you like pull up and down. And I forget what it's called, but you can catch. That's how you target some real big bass. Holy schmoly, that's a nearly 1.9 pound spotted bass right there. I don't know if these are also referred to as smallmouth bass. Oops. This is, I guess called mono line. And, I think I'm gonna wanna get some braided line because it's stronger. And also you can, I guess, cast farther with it because it's like less friction on these loops on our rod. Yellow bass. I don't know if you can hear it, but maybe if I get closer to the wall here, you can hear like the sound effect changes to where it sounds like you're inside a tunnel. So they did a pretty good job at the sound effects, I will say. Caught a few turtles in real life. That sucks when that happens. Yeah, it's pretty bad. You gotta cram a pair of needle nose pliers down their throat and stuff. Because they pretty much swallow the hook every time. Turns out you can rent kayaks, I guess. But this wasn't here back in the day. I had to buy this kayak and I could only use it on Emerald Lake, which sucked because I had to pay big bucks to fish there. This place is free to fish at. So, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I got 34 pounds of fish. So let's just see how much money we got from it. $2,378 from this haul. Exactly 30 fish. That's nice. I'll claim that. See, you can do some crazy end game fishing. As you can see here, this looks fun. That's probably in Alaska or something. So this is what we got. This is a free-to-play game, so they're kind of always showing you packs you can buy with real-life money. the starter location, which is my favorite. There's Emerald Lake, which is actually way smaller and kind of pointless to use a kayak on, honestly. There's a spot in Michigan where I live. I mean, you can go all over the world. The places that interest me the most are like on the ocean, you know, like the big deep sea fishing. Catch some monster bluefin tuna or whatever the game has to offer. That requires 94, level 94. This is the spot I wanna go to eventually so I can be pulled around like a sleigh. The Congo River. I'll need to get a monster rod for that, let me tell you what. It's probably is Nile. Probably something like that. Casting rods. There's some big old reels for the saltwater fishing. Heavy duty. Yeah, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's my kayak I bought. Looks like you can get little dinghies now. It's a nice boat. My dad has something more along the lines of just a regular aluminum fishing boat, something like this, but with a pointed nose. And he has all the gadgets and whatchamacallits on it. Bass boat.